Alrighty, everyone, we are back. This time we're going to do something rather fun. We're going to design a campaign, we're going to design a few creatures, stuff like that. Now, the biggest issue you're going to have whenever it comes to designing is usually originality. There's always a few other issues too, like not just originality, but sometimes it's due to complexity. And when it comes to one-shot campaigns, what I've sort of learned is that the script can be very railroaded, but there are always things that other players may think of that leave the GM with nothing in the script to really defend themselves. So you'll have to kind of like navigate around that. This campaign I'm going to be designing is quite simply, it's going to be a human or vampire campaign where it can be for either side. It's just that if you're a human, you have to be higher level, and if you're vampire, you have to be lower level. And the goal here is that you're dismantling a minor clan, a clan that is of some threat. So one of the big things we're going to do is we're going to design this campaign where there is a rival clan of the Melkahim. And the players are either helping the Melkahim or they're helping themselves. Or if they're human, they're trying to learn the techniques and the secrets so they can augment themselves. The goal of this campaign is quite simple. It's mostly undead battles and dealing with custom undead. So if a vampire, you're going to be dealing with a lack of blood. There's going to be very little blood, if any at all. So that's going to make it where as a vampire, it's going to be very difficult unless you have merchants of some kind to buy blood from. As a human, the issue is going to be is that humanity has a hard time fighting creatures because creatures roll the same dice modifier that vampires roll. So it's very different, very difficult. The name of this campaign, we'll come up with it later. Right now, we're just going to leave it as campaign name, just kind of leave it blank. Let me increase the zoom in a bit so you guys can kind of read a little bit better. All right, so this, we're going to go to we're going to say 8, 4 to 8. Okay. So the idea here with this campaign is that there is a rival clan that is targeting the Melkahim and possibly going to overthrow the Melkahim as necromancy specialists. Now you may say, okay, how does that work? Well, for the vampire clan, they're going to be specializing in necromancy to the point that they can gain a spell called Gain Undead. Not turn undead, not banish undead, but gain undead. So any undead thing that you summon, they just cast their spell and they take control of it from you. That makes it where the Melkahim are very vulnerable because their whole shtick is that they're powerful sorcerers. So as a vampire, you're doing this as a favor to the Great Clan and you're doing it as a favor to the Empire. Because after all, in the Soul Reaver game manual, it talks a lot about how the Melkahim almost get overthrown a few times. So this way, this will help you establish kind of that background. It's just as a vampire and as a human, you have to kind of level up a bit. Now the humans are interested because, hey, if you can take control of the undead and they learn that magic, they could gain territories back from these necromancing vampires. They could learn from this and banish away a lot of the skeleton armies and shit that Melkahims use. Do we want to go southeast or do we want to go... I'm trying to think of like the world map of Nosgoth. Let me consult Soul Reaver. Let's just say northwest, just because that's kind of like where Necropolis. There we go, yes. The Uralanim have specialized in magic and broken away from their Dumahim cousins, abandoning martial prowess. They strive to achieve necromantic supremacy in their studies, and I can't type for shit. Okay. So far off to the northwest of Nosgoth lies a new minor clan, the ever-scheming clan of Uralon. The Uralonum have specialized in magic and broken away from their Dumahim cousins. Abandoning martial prowess, they strive to achieve necromantic supremacy. In their studies, they have found not only the devastating power of the undead, but have now discovered a way of stealing the undead forces of the Melkahim straight out of their grasp. With this new power, the Uralon sent out their clan's forces to attack Melkahim cities, stripping away the Melkahim of their undead armies and using the skeletal hordes against their own masters. Melchiah has beseeched his brothers for aid, and his brothers have responded by sending their own force to help stop the upstart clan. Not all is vampiric intrigue, however. The unruly and rebellious humans have taken notice. Okay. Not all is vampiric intrigue, however. The unruly and rebellious humans have taken notice and strive now more than ever to obtain the power these Uralanum have discovered. Sending out their forces, human tribes have met together, seeing the possibility of turning vampiric sorcery upon itself as a way of reclaiming the world. Men and women scurry forth in the shadows, hoping that by learning the Uralon magics, they too can achieve the ambitions the Uralon have gained. So, we're gonna put a nice big warning sign. Oh, shit. There we go. Yeah, let's first type this out. This campaign has two totally different sides to it, depending on whether players are vampires or humans. If a human is a vampire worshiper, then they are playing from the vampire perspective. So what we're going to do is we're going to first start off with so the Eurolon are going to be these previous warriors who've now learned magic, and they're so good at magic that they're able to cast not only their energy spell, the lightning spear, but they're also able to cast necromancy. So we got to quickly look and see. It's under the species codex. We got to look at the vampire stuff real quick. Because there's something about the Duma hymn where they get enhanced martial prowess. Yeah, it does. And then we also have to look at clans. Starting a clan of your own. Okay. So the Uralon will have they'll basically have they're gonna be like the default vampires. So the Uralon would be just 5 in all their stats. And then they would get +2 to their magic. So their magic would be 3. And then they would get a boon, which is that they cast necromancy spells very cheaply. So let's kind of look a little bit into our magics folder. And we're going to go to our vampire magics. Necromancy. So necromancy is mostly intelligence based. There's no real discourse to it. Intelligence, 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 or magic skill, summoners. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to name this. If you guys come up with an idea for a name of the campaign, please say so. One thing I did kind of say earlier is if anyone has arts of these gladiator armors and it's like dressed like a Hilden, I would love it. Because for me personally, I love this the Gueron Pact. The Gueron Pack is a group of tribal warriors that I've designed in the Demon Realm, and they're Hilden who believe in conflict. Conflict, conflict, conflict. So as such, they dress with the this armor plate here, the way it's all the way up the shoulder. They wear those, and that's how you could tell it's them, because that's their signature armor, is that they don't wear a chest piece, they just have these, and they put them on both arms, not just one. And they're usually warriors, and they believe in conflict so much that they even believe that one should have conflicting ideas at the same time. So for them, being a hypocrite is a good thing. They love hypocrites because they believe that you should always be in conflict internally as well as externally, because that leads to purity, which I find really, really funny. So Eurolon stats, 5 in strength, perception, charisma, endurance. The lowest level So starting at level 4, this is going to put them with 2 stat points. So that's going to make it 7. At max level 8, so 2, 4, 6, 8. So there should be 9. Let's quickly take a peek here. Because Magister and Sorcerer trait are here it is. Let's copy this. So total damage at level 4, they would have So 3 plus 4 plus 2. So 3 plus 2 plus 2, 7. So 9, which is 4 plus 4 plus 3. So we're looking at 8, 9, 10, 11. This could be an interesting campaign if you are a Melkahim and you are a necromancer and you're like, what? These guys are out necromancing us? I refuse. And you just come in and you just start casting nasty spells like stiff phalanges. You're trapping them in the ground. And then you're just casting over and over again like soul furnace, where you're just blasting their soul with the souls of the dead and you're just destroying them. That could be really fun. That could be really cool, you know? Where you're like, fools, you're only playing at undead magic. I'm a true necromancer. That could be interesting, you know? So if they're casting necromancy spells for -2 runes, they're going to be able to do some really crazy shit. Like Soul Blast. Yeah, that's the name, Soul Blast. Um, so I think that this is like a good enough setup for like this is what makes them deadly. This is what makes them so scary is that they are actually really powerful. And if you go to your energy magic, you can see that they have access to Vibrant Servants, Lightning Death. Lightning Death is the name, not Lightning Spear. Um, Martial skill or magic skill, and then +5. So if they have like 9 magic, that's 4 damage plus 5, that's 9 damage total, and they're sending it your way. And then because they're magisters and sorcerers, that buffs the spell by another +2. So now you're looking at 11 damage. So it's like, okay, this is going to get very deadly very quickly. I kind of like the way this is shaping because this is a pretty substantial threat. If you're going to play as a if you're going to play as a warrior, you're going to get bogged down by just how many skeletons they could keep summoning. And to make it worse, the skeletons they're summoning are way stronger because they are summoners. They're able to buff it. So it's like, okay, that's scary. And then if you're an archer or something, you may have an easier time if you're like cunning or if you're perceptive. You can find gaps and snipe them down. If you are a mage, this could be a big problem because all the undead stuff that you summon can get possessed. All the undead creatures around you are super strong. And to make it worse, since they're undead, they don't have blood. The only blood you can get is from the vampires. And it's like, that's going to be a tough cookie, you know? So this is going to promote players to think smart, play strategically. So the leader of the Eurolon is Uriel. Uriel is going to be our big bad evil guy. I'm just trying to think of like what we should do. I think what we should do is we should have it where he feels like he's just some vampire dude, like he doesn't come off as special. But then you realize that he's able to cast necromancy spells in like an AoE circle. Like all of a sudden he'll cast stiff phalanges and everybody gets trapped. And the person who dealt the most damage to him is who he will target. But then he gets retargeted based on whenever players decide to do something different. So in other words, your will keeps changing its target based on the damage output. This could be very interesting because then it forces tanks to say, shit, everybody, you guys need to stop doing damage. What's another name for hell? What's another name for the underworld? Fuck. I'm trying to think of like a Greek name. Anyone know like a good Greek or Roman? I like I like the Crown of Melano. I think that's a really cool like name, but that's more of like a mind magic thing that I'm thinking about. Aegisalau. I don't know how the fuck you pronounce that. I like Oceanus. Let's say that. Crown of Oceanus. What would be like a warrior trait? I'm thinking like a warrior trait that can drop from this boss. That would be very nice. Because Oceanus is a river that encircles the world. So I'm thinking like something that like champion and hero. I don't know. I feel like I should do either a custom, and I think that'd be more fun, is just keep doing custom things for this campaign rather than doing just one. I think that's a good idea. So we'll do that instead. Gives wearer custom ability. Now that's interesting. The Crown of Oceanus, 3 armor, gives the wearer custom ability. Each necromancy spell casted around the wearer heals them for the rune cost of the spell. So if I'm surrounded by mages and I'm sitting there like, fuck, I can't do anything about it, I can cast something like Howl of the Forest. That's 12 HP I'm gonna get, and also I get 2 allies. And lastly, we should do like a I'm thinking like boots. Heels of the Sticks. There we go. Heels of the Sticks allows you to walk through walls and to walk into the spirit realm. There we go, yeah. Crown of Oceanus. So if we're gonna do rolling the dice, what we're gonna do is so there's 6 sides of a dice, 3, so 1 and 2 would equal the staff, 3 and 4 would equal the crown, and then 5 and 6 would equal the heels. Or we could do it the opposite way. I am spelling that right. It's Styx, right? Yeah, I'm spelling it right. Wikipedia is a good friend for lore when it comes to mythologies, which is nice. Starts at 500 HP. Yeah, we're gonna start the fight with 2 undead lords. Um, each attack with the staff, we should just say it does about 20 damage, 25 damage. We'll just say 22 damage. So what this guy is going to be doing is he's going to be attacking you with his staff. boom, and then he's gonna be summoning a lightning spear and just throwing that shit. Man, this is going to be a very annoying boss. But this is why this difficulty is elevated. Is that this boss is going to attack you twice every round because that's what he does. And then when you hurt him to a certain amount, he's going to gain a lot of armor and he's going to go to his thing and start getting HP. And I'm debating lowering this pillar amount. I think we should lower it to 5. Or, yeah, 3 is a good number. Everything that's good comes in 3s. And I think 3 times is more than enough because this boss fight's gonna last a while, and this is hard. This is supposed to be hard. So vampires, there should definitely be not one, but there should be 3 to 5. This almost feels like a raid, from like WoW. This feels like you need a lot of people to do this. As humans, this is probably much more bearable than as a vampire. What I'm trying to think, because I'm thinking is that if you have 18 armor or 15 armor, 18 would be the highest. If you have 18 armor, that's a lot. And if you're a tyrant, you're going to keep gaining armor as this battle goes on. So as a tyrant, you could be fucking rocking it. You could be sitting there with a giant great sword or great warhammer, whatever, and a shield, and you're gaining armor every turn. You're going to be taking like no damage by the end of this battle. So what happens with the boss here is that the boss will, if you hit me with like 30 damage, he's going to attack you with a staff. But then his lightning death is only going to target the tank. And it's like, okay, whoever's like in my face is going to get the spell. Whoever's far away is going to get the staff. And that's the way it's going to be working. So as a human, you'll find out that there really is like a river running through this area. And because there's a river running through this area, these pillars that he's gaining power from are actually sapping life from the water. That's why the water is like really nasty coming out, but it looks really good coming in. So by destroying these pillars, you're unlocking a lot of water that you can drink from and heal from. As a human, this boss might be really difficult. That's why I recommend such a huge party count. And that's kind of why this campaign is going to be a little weird for people, because they're going to be like, wow, this is a lot of players. And the answer is yeah, because this is a very dangerous fucking campaign. This is a raid, god damn it. So if he's healing 50 HP per round, that means that if he's at 150, 200, 250, 300. So you have like 3 turns to quickly destroy these pillars. So theoretically, you could destroy these pillars with 0 magic, but with 30 armor, that's 15 damage negation. You're going to be doing very little. 30 armor and 50 HP. I want to kind of do like, not really 50, but maybe like less. I don't know. Should I? Nah, we're fine. Because if there's 6 players, that's a lot of damage. They're going to be pummeling the fuck out of this. Oh, I think my wife is home. Alright, so let's start with the story part, the narration. Let me go give my wife some kisses. All right, so let's do the vampire side of the story. Did I get a message from someone? No, I didn't. Okay, thank God. So 10 plus 20, 30 gold. So if you're starting this without carrying over a character, you will be penalized already at the start of the game with just how shit your fucking equipment is. Because your equipment is going to be bad. It's going to be really difficult to play. But that's fine. That's what you signed up for. You know? That's what you wanted. So here you go. So with the vampire side, the vampire and the human campaign is going to be the exact same as far as like the progression, but it's going to be totally different from their interpretive viewpoints of how these things are happening. And it's going to be very different in the way that they achieve their goals, which could be nice. Right now I'm trying to think here is I'm trying to envision what the map would look like as players progress. And I'm trying to imagine how this would go. Because what I'm thinking is players start out in the wilderness and then they enter into this fortress that is the clan home of the the of Eurolon and and once they're inside, it's going to be a lot of magic checks. So perception and magic are going to be very useful for this. Whereas if you're a pure warrior, this campaign may feel like it sucks for you. Same with if you're a cunning type of strength rogue who's just going around stabbing people in the back. Like this may feel really brutal for you for campaign. And that's only because it's a mage clan. Of course you're going to be dealing with magic issues. That's something that I am a good proponent of. I support entirely is like Morrowind. Morrowind is a very good example of a game where you can't do everything. It's a game meant for multiple playthroughs. That being said, I do believe that there is some value in that. And I feel like that if you were to do a pure group of warriors, somehow, you would have the worst time in this game only because you've limited yourself. And there will be certain sections that are literally unplayable, like the boss fight, for example. Because if everyone's rolling 1d6 to move, then that's going to be very, very difficult. Because then that means that you're going to be dealing with a boss who keeps teleporting away. And meanwhile, you and like 3 of your other party members are still lagging behind. They haven't even touched the boss yet. So that's going to make it a very difficult game for you. It's going to make it a very difficult fight. But we'll see. We'll see how this works out. I'm trying to think of like how to word this. So what I want to do is I want it where the campaign starts with you being the strike force that is given the goal of executing X person. It's not exactly a mission that they really care about, but it's a mission nonetheless. And the goal is to cause as much damage as possible to the Eurolon. If you end up retreating, the campaign finishes. Congrats, you're done. This is more of like a dungeon where you just kind of come in, do as much as you can, and if you can kill Ural, if you can get up to that point, awesome. If you can't get up to that point because there's too many obstacles in the way, too much blood loss, too much difficulty getting to that segment, you still won. You still did damage to the clan. The only way you can lose is if you don't get through the first map. If you can't get inside the goddamn fortress, you suck. You lost, you know? So that's kind of what I'm thinking of right now is how do I word this? Because you have to remember too that from a roleplay perspective, you're having every single vampire who's of a different clan, and the possibility that these are players who are playing previous characters who are minor clans. who did create their own thing. I would love to see that. I would love to see so many people playing this game that they make dedicated guilds where they only play this minor clan that one of them played. And then they have their own clan stat and they make it like this whole narration campaign. That'd be really fun. That'd be really cool. But I have to just try to think of how I would word this out. What would be like a mm, I think we'll just stay with Ve Victus. So let's read this out, right? Necropolis is under siege. Hordes of undead that once protected the clan have now laid their hovels into ruin. This catastrophe is led by the ambitious clan Uralon, led by their gifted leader, Ural. Having brokered many treaties and turned in personal favors, Melchiah has gained the support of his brothers on the Council of Clans to lend aid in this outright usurpation. Assembled is a blacklist of the Uralon, assembling all of the vampires of the Empire as they strive to strike it rich, plundering the lands of the well-established clan. Also to mention the personal rewards they may gain by aiding the Melchahim, to gain the possibility of having a voice on the Council of Clans. Assembling your party, you all strive forward, hoping to achieve the goal of damaging to outright destroying the Uralon. The Uralonum are assembled before you. Be warned, though, they lack in prestige like your respective clans. They do make up for it in deadly sorcery. Ve Victus. I think that sounds nice. I don't like this phrase, though. Assembled is a blacklist of the Uralon. I don't like that. Let's just get rid of that section there. Assembling all the vampires of the Empire, of the clans. We'll just say clans. Your Alanims will spam like Spectral Grasp and so the big thing here is that the skeletons are going to be slow and they're behind the mages. So what this means is that these mages are not going to get like their cannon fodder. Because after all, you have to remember is that skeletons have the sluggish movement traits. So that means that they move very slowly. I'm trying to remember. I don't know if I should name this campaign Hades or because there's some really good underworld names. I'm not gonna lie, like there is a lot. Because the House of Hades is a really good name for a campaign. I am not gonna lie, that's actually a really cool campaign idea. Because I'm not gonna lie, like House of Hades sounds really good. I like that for a campaign name. Let's just name it that for right now. House of Hades. That is a really cool fucking name, I'm not gonna lie. So what I'm thinking is that we should do a magical trap of some kind on the bridge. And what it is that if you fail, there is a chance that everyone will be killed. So not only did you get damaged, but then you also have to deal with 5 undead werewolves. Zombie werewolves. We'll say 4 instead of 5. Because I have to remember that this is also a human campaign. So humans are going to have a little bit more difficulty dealing with 5 werewolves, whereas 4 is acceptable. As I said, if your party is not up to snuff, this is going to be a very brutal campaign. Oh my god, I can't believe I forgot how to spell already. So what's gonna happen here is players are going to be basically encountering zombie werewolves attacking them from the rear very frequently. The reason why is because if you have mages who don't require a range to attack, and your archers, they're going to be constantly under threat. Whereas your warriors are going to be very busy in the front dealing with all these skeletons and then dealing with these mages who keep blasting them. The issue is that the blood inside the zombie werewolves is going to be poisonous. So they have to be very, very careful. I won't. Did you kiss my little boy? Where's his camera? Where's the camera? Are you going to sleep right now? Okay. He was here for like, he came here a little early, like around 5:40, 5:50. Yeah. So me and Rian were having a good time. It's kind of one of the nice thing about Google Chrome is that I can like give it to you, right? Like I can just download this shit and just say, okay, boom, there you go. So what we're gonna do is hammer, ta-da. So I gotta quickly do a calculator here. So Audentis Fortuna is a spell that it's not a spell, it's a technique, and Audentis Fortuna is really good against tanks. It's a good way to initiate a fight because you're doing 20% of their HP on top of your damage. So if this guy's damage is 20, let's just say that your HP is 45, right? Divide that by 20%. That is not what I wanted. So that's 9. So that's going to be 29 damage you're taking. What if it's what if you're a really good tank who has like somehow 100 HP? You're going to take 20 damage on top of 20. So it's going to be 40 damage total. This guy is going to be shredding tanks. And that's kind of the goal, is that he's kind of an anti-tank. What's the Greek name? Well, what's a good term here? So we have Hero Killer and then Gaia's Fist. Ew, why you give this to me? Ew. This is a nail clipper. Ew. Alright, I'm ending the stream here. Only because it's been 2 hours and it seems like no one's really showing up.
I show up.
Yeah, I know you show up, babe. You always show up. Yeah, I'm gonna keep writing this out because this is actually really cool. So, see